but we will not need that. We won't need editing on the tail end because this is old hat now. And for those of you joining us brand new, this is Liz Kimmelman, and welcome to our first DearScout check-in of 2025. It's March, which means camp is right around the corner. And before we start talking about camp and what's coming, I want to remind everybody that if you don't know about DearScout, they are one of our partners here at ACA New England, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I want Liz to introduce herself, tell us the DearScout story, and then we'll get into more on maybe where it fits or what's going on in the industry. Liz, out west in California, how are you doing this morning?
Hello, thanks for having me on. Yes, just a little reminder about who DearScout is. So we are, first and foremost, we are an employee assistance program. And so I really love to share about it in that way. So for those of you that don't know what that is, employee assistance program, it's an employee benefit. And so for those of you listening out there and kind of feeling like, oh, that's like some businessy terms, that's good. That's awesome. We want to make sure that we're running our camps and our organizations in the best small business way that we can so that we can take care of our staff, because taking care of our staff means that we're taking care of our campers, and we're running awesome programs this summer to keep everyone happy and healthy. What we do at DearScout is we provide two main services along with a whole bunch of awesome other things. And through these services, you're able to provide your staff with some really amazing benefits that they can access free to them. So it's based on a membership program that camps pay for ahead of time on a seasonal basis. And what's really great, and I think the way that we should think about these things, is that in almost every other industry that we work with insurance, we work with transportation, we work with food, we work with marketing, we work with the health industry. All those other industries are working with EAP programs often. So everyone else that we work with gets this great resource for their staff. And so now you get to bring this to your own staff seasonally. And so the two main services that we offer, and one of them is new this year that we're so excited about. So one of them is we provide on-call teletherapy for your staff. So you might have a staff member this summer that for a whole bunch of different reasons, maybe they are in between their therapist or the person that they were working with before the summer, and they need someone to talk to. Maybe you have someone that's struggling and you are needing that extra help because your job is to be the camp director or your job is to be the program director. And we want to make sure that you're doing your job. And so you need to pass them off to that next person. Just like when you have someone come into your health center or you have some first aid going on and it's time to get a medical professional involved, we're here to help you get a mental health professional involved. So we have one-on-one therapy for your summer staff. These are licensed clinicians that are camp specific. So there's lots of other programs out there that you can work with to get teletherapy, or even like your local, sometimes people partner with local therapists, maybe to come in and talk to their staff or whatnot. But the real difference is all of our therapists have camp experience. They know what your staff are going through. And so your staff don't have to waste the therapy hour that they have explaining what it's like to live in a cabin with a bunch of 7-year-old boys making fart jokes all the time. And sometimes that's hard to explain to someone that's never been through that. And so they're going to work with your staff that really need it. And so that's one of the really awesome benefits of having this program, is that you have this one-on-one therapy that you can offer your staff throughout the summer. And throughout the summer season, really focus on supporting your staff. And that's anybody employed by your camp. So towards the end of the summer, this is really great for your directors or yourself, executive directors. It's really great for you to have that person to process how the summer went. We can talk a little bit about that later. So that's one of our services is camp-focused therapy. And we also have lots of ways to work with you on how to talk to your staff about this. So it's not just we offer therapy for you, because that can sometimes be really scary and a big barrier to get over. So we offer one-on-one folks from licensed people that can talk with you. Then our other service, which is really awesome, is peer-to-peer support. Peer-to-peer support is anonymous. It is offered for everyone that is on DearScout. It is also a year-round service. So our clinical support, the one-on-one that I just talked about, is offered during the summer season. Peer-to-peer support is offered through a program called Together All. We partner with a program called Together All. It's online, anonymous, supervised. So it's always supervised by clinicians on the back end. So it's always being watched, and we can talk a little bit about that. Supervised, anonymous, safe, peer-to-peer support that's offered to everyone that's part of DearScout through a program called Together All. And it is offered for a whole year. So this is a benefit that you get to give your staff, that if they feel like they just need someone else to talk to who they feel like is more like them, that, camp can be an awesome place, but there's nothing more lonely feeling than when you're in a big group of people and you feel like you're not connecting, or you just need your people. And sometimes you can be surrounded by a whole bunch of friends and you just feel like you need someone that gets it, and the people around you aren't getting it. And that just happens sometimes. You might be with your camp people, but maybe your camp people don't look like you. Or maybe your camp people don't come from the same country as you. Or maybe your camp people don't date the same kind of people that you do. Or like me, maybe nobody else at your camp has kids. And so sometimes you just need to take that minute to, so the way that it works is it's online. It's kind of a little bit like a chat group. And so you can go on, again, it is supervised and it's anonymous.
What's it called again? Sorry. What's it
called? So it's through a program called Together All.
Got it.
The way that this works with DearScout is when you become a member with us, you go on and it's very seamless. So you log on and you would make an account as if it's just through DearScout. So when you become a member with us, we do an implementation training with your leadership team. We tell you how your staff are going to get all this information. We train you, executive directors, and your seasonal leadership team, your program directors, anyone that might be talking with your staff, your frontline staff, and helping them. We train you on how to have some of these conversations when your staff are having a hard time. We train you on how to go from staff being stressed to staff needing some extra help. We give you a lot of materials to share with your staff, kind of like media kits, if you will. So if those of you out there that are listening are part of your recruitment team, we give you the whole deck. So we give you stuff to share physically in your staff lounge, flyers, handouts, stickers. We also give you stuff to share in your staff Slack, WhatsApp groups, whatever you use, stuff like that. And then if you use stuff more like through email, we'll do that as well. And we also have some videos that you can share with your staff. And then throughout the summer, we're going to give you little drops of right before or during your staff orientation. Hey, remember to share this training out with your staff during the middle of the summer when folks are starting to really feel
when the slump starts to kind of creep.
Yeah. We're going to remind you again during that time, like, share this resource. It's really helpful. It's going to help your staff re-engage, and it's going to help you focus on your job, which isn't therapy. And towards the end of the summer, when we're starting to get towards those end of summer blues, our services, Together All and the peer-to-peer support, goes the whole year. So they're going to have access to this after they're done working with you for the summer, which is a great retention tool. You're offering them a benefit that's going to last with them throughout the year. This is free to them, and it's included in your membership. And then the one-on-one support lasts through the end of August. So some of you might have sessions that go all the way that long. We hope that it lasts a little bit past your last week, because we know that transition from camp back to real world life can be kind of jarring. Even for those of our staff that were having a really hard time, and now all of a sudden, oh my gosh, camp is the best place on earth. How am I possibly going to go back to my real life? So those are our two big services. We have peer-to-peer support, which really what we know from recent data, both from the mental health industry, what we're seeing from major EAP platforms, from insurance companies and the like, is that more folks are utilizing platforms like this. More folks are utilizing across, like in various different industries, are using peer-to-peer support. Because while it's really great to have that one-on-one support, the vast majority of people can always use someone to talk to. And it's less likely that you'll have someone that really needs a more intensive intervention like therapy. But when someone does need therapy, this is what you want to go to for your summer camp staff. You want summer camp specific therapists.
This is absolutely positively top to bottom. The new peer-to-peer, one more time, what is that one called?
Together. So the platform is on Togetherall.
That's what I was curious.
Folks can take a look at it right now. They can see the back end. So two fun facts about Togetherall. One is that I was introduced to one of the founders of Togetherall through my good friend who used to be at Camp Brain, and they were at camp together. So it's a camp connection.
This is a borderline small, the smallest intimate community that is out there. So, you said something at the top that I wanted to hammer on real quick. And before we wrap up here, because this is probably, I can't wait to share this both on our social media feeds, YouTube. It's going to be in TradeWing. We're going to post it at the top of the conversation channel around health and wellness. And thank you so much for lending your name and your eyes to that. Yeah. So if you're ever, want to post questions in the New England camp community, be on the lookout for that in TradeWing as well. But you said two things that jumped out that I really want to hammer home. First of all, your people. I wrote that down because, like you said, you can find folks who are licensed therapists, or maybe they're just good people. They got a great ear. It's just like being maybe in the military or being a teacher or being any other profession. The closer you can get to the experience, to have that empathy, to have that immediate, like, I get what you're talking about. I don't need to work hard to say, what do you mean you don't go to sleep until then? Why don't you just do X? Because it's camp. So starting with, you're talking to your people. We want to connect with your people. And then the last thing, and this is actually the biggest thing, you said, this is, certain aspects go year round, they go through the summer. And this is definitely from recruitment to retention. This is a tool that can really help your staff and help you out, because also the employee assistance program. I gave a talk recently. I've been giving this talk in other places about how camp is going to save the workforce. And it's also because our young people are coming up looking for a little more value add, a little more reality. When we, what used to sell doesn't sell anymore, even if the experience is similar. We have to be definitive and be objective with our young people to say, this is an employee assistance program, just like you're going to experience later in life. And they might go the rest of their life going, excuse me, what else do you have to offer? And it does set them up for the real world in learning how to make meaningful connections, how to ask for help when you need to ask a little bit of help. And then the most important part of all of this is what you said at the top too, allowing camp directors and camp professionals to keep being camp directors and camp professionals, and letting some of these mental health professionals and specialists into your world so that we can keep creating better camp experiences for our staff. If folks want to talk about any or all of this, we're going to continue the conversation on TradeWing. As always, you'll see information about that coming soon. But if they say, hey, Liz, I'd like to set up some time and chat with you, where can they find you?
So our website is mydearscout.com. And then they can email me at liz@mydearscout.com. And then also all of our contact information is at mydearscout.com. So there's our information for our head clinician, Molly Harrell. So you can contact her. She can answer any questions you have. And then also to have us reach out, we'd love to talk to you about joining us for this summer. making sure that we have clinicians in your state. We serve across the country. So, and the great thing about Together All is that this is it, regardless of our ability to have clinicians in your state for our one-on-one counseling, Together All is across the country and in Canada, so that we are able to serve everywhere. And there are lots of other little benefits that come with a lot of these other things that if you give us a call, we can chat even more.
Phenomenal. If you're going to be at any of the conferences coming up, especially the New England Camp Conference, look for DearScout and Liz. In the meantime, Liz, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, awesome. Can't wait to see you all in later in March.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thanks.